Hi and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Caitlin. I'm still a bit sick. So this weekend's videos, that when I make them, are going to be my voice is going to be sick. So I apologize for that in advance. Hopefully it won't give me too many troubles. Might, but who knows. So for today's video, we're going to be doing a just books that I want to reread in 2019. I might not get to all of these. I hope I will be able to get to them, but I don't know for sure. Let's just get into it, because if we don't, it's going to be a long time. First book that I have to show you that I want to reread is Winter Song by S.J. Jones. I've talked about this before when I got it in my book haul, but let me explain more of what it's about. In this book, the main character, Liesel, has always loved music, but she has a younger brother who is a musical prodigy, said to be like the next Beethoven, the next big musical composer, and so she has set the task to support him in every way possible. She works for her parents' inn, and she encourages his love of music with she's pretty much given up on her dream of participating in music and singing and playing the violin. Or viola, was it? I could be completely wrong. But then one day her sister goes missing due to the Goblin King taking her. And so Liesel decides to go adventure and save her sister from the Goblin King. Throughout the journey, and so when she gets into the Goblin lands, there's a lot of trickery, there's a lot of raw emotion in this piece. That's what I remember a majority of it being, with such raw emotion that just made Liesel such an amazing character. I absolutely loved her. I think there's some problematic stuff within the romance, so that's why I want to reread it. I just want to kind of reread to finalize my opinion on this book, finalize what I think about it, and then I also want to get into the sequel, Shadow Song, which is right up here. The next series is another series that I have said I want to get to rereading, and this is also from the book haul, and that is The Orphan Queen and the Mirror King. I read this 1 or 2 years ago. So this is about a girl named Princess Wilhelmina, and her kingdom was recently overtaken by the Indigo Kingdom. Her parents died, she's now an orphan, and so she bands together with the other children of royals from her kingdom to go into hiding and learn how to be stealthy, learn how to steal back what the kingdom's taken from her. In the meantime, there's a sickness on the land called the Wraith, and it is slowly destroying everything in its path. And Wilhelmina might have the key to stop it. So that's what happens in this book for the most part, and then this book is just a continuation. It's a duology, and I love it so much. I just want to get into I want to reread it because I absolutely adore it. I love the characters, I love the magic, I love the world. I love it so much, and I want to go through the whole Fields thing again and just fall in love with these characters. Okay, the next book I have is the start of a series. I read this last year, and I absolutely loved it, and I just want to get into reading the whole series, and that is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I absolutely adored this. So this is about a girl named Evie, and this book is set in the 1920s, where Evie got into a little bit of trouble at home and was sent to live with her uncle in New York City. And her uncle is this eccentric, crazy person. He loves the occult and in fact runs a museum on the occult, and so she is forced to live with him, and she's worried that one of her secrets will get out to him especially. And that is, if she touches an item, she gets some kind of flashback or what the character's thinking if she touches an item belonging to that character. I don't quite remember if that's the truth. All of a sudden, though, something happens in New York City. A girl is found murdered, and the authorities have good reason to believe that it's something to do with the occult. So they enlist her uncle to help them find out what exactly happened, and Evie, our main character, pushes her way into it to try and help out. We get to meet a whole bunch of other characters as well as they go through, or as more murders happen. I remember jumping into this and absolutely adoring it. I just want to read the whole series now, but I'm kind of scared because this one ended on such a good will something else happen kind of note, and so I'm kind of worried more stuff is gonna happen and something's gonna happen to some of these characters that I love so much. So I just want to get into reading the whole series, and I'm probably gonna read this around October. Alright, the next book is gonna be a little bit hard for me to explain, and that is Nemesis by Brendan Reichs. So Nemesis is about two main characters, Min and Noah, I think, and they each go through certain events every couple birthdays. Min gets killed every 2 birthdays that she has, or on the 2nd birthday she has ever since she was 8. But then the next morning she wakes up in a field outside of town with absolutely no evidence of being killed whatsoever. Noah, on the other hand, every 2 birthdays, or maybe even every night, it's been a while since I read this, so at some point he gets nightmares about dying, about death and destruction. He doesn't know what causes them, but they're so vivid, so realistic, but they are dreams. And these 2 characters band together to try to figure out what is happening to them. Meanwhile, there is a massive asteroid hurtling towards Earth, and it is threatening life as they know it. It's said that will destroy the Earth and all life completely as soon as it hits. And so there's that big threat going on as the whole story unfolds. So our main characters decide that before the anvil, which is what they're calling the giant asteroid, before the anvil hits, they're going to go find out what's happening in their town. This is such a good book. I adore the characters, I adore the storyline, I love the plot and the huge plot twists and everything that happens in it. It's so good, I love it so much. I just want to reread this so that I can experience it all over again. There's also 2 other books in the series that came out. I have yet to read them, and that's Genesis and Chrysalis. And so I want to read those as soon as possible, but I don't have them, so right now I want to get those and then read Nemesis. So the next book I want to reread is The Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. I read this 1 or 2 years ago, and I absolutely adored it. I sped through this entire series. I fell right head over heels for it, and the reason why I want to reread this is because I wasn't able to get to Bloodlines at the time. So now I want to get into the Bloodlines series, and I want to understand everything, but I do need a refresher on the world itself, so I want to reread The Vampire Academy to get that refresher. The next 3 books are books that I read a while ago, but I want to reread them to get into finishing the series, and that is Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. Books 1, 2, and 3. So this story follows 3 main characters, Cleo, Jonas, and Magnus, and their divided world coming together, and a lot's going on. I can barely even describe this without spoiling anything. So it's about magic. There's a lot of magic in it. There's a lot of fantasy. There's a lot of political stuff. So if you enjoy high fantasy, this is like the highest of high fantasies, somewhat. This is a very high fantasy type book, and I have a feeling that if you really like books like Aragon or Lord of the Rings, this is kind of close to that, I would say. And it's really good. I remember reading it. I think I read the first book twice and the other 2 once, and so I want to reread them again so I can finish the series for good and just have them on my shelf knowing that I read them and I loved them. The next books I want to reread is 5 books, and that would be the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. I have the special box set with that. It's usually up at the top shelf on this shelf, so you never see it. But I do own this, and I do want to read these. I want to also collect the Heroes of Olympus, the Kane Chronicles, and the Trials of Apollo and Magnus Chase series, but currently I only have this one, and I want to reread this and then go through and read all of the Rick Riordan books because I adore his characters, and I want to jump on the train and remember everything that happened in this one. Alright, the next 2 books that I'm pretty much going to reread no matter what happens this year. The next 2 books that I'm planning on rereading sometime in this year are Renegades and Arch Enemies. The 3rd book is coming out this year. I am planning on rereading both of these when the 3rd book comes out so I can read them 1, 2, 3. Hopefully that will be the end of the series. I don't know, but I do want to see more work from Marissa Meyer, so let me get into explaining this. So Renegades follows the story of our main character, Nova, and our other main character, Adrian. So Nova has connections to the anarchists. Characters are people who brought anarchy to the world because they wanted prodigies to have rights and be able to use their magic for good. But then they brought anarchy to the world and everything went wrong. So the Renegades showed up, and the Renegades are prodigies who take the form of heroes. They're the heroes that you read in comic books, the ones that you always cheer on. They came over and stopped the anarchists, and the few remaining went into hiding. Nova, our main character, has direct ties to these anarchists, and so she definitely feels like they've been wronged because they've been stripped of rights, stripped of everything that they ever held dear. They can no longer own a home, that kind of stuff. So she feels very upset about this, and so she takes the form of anarchist Nightmare, and she goes off and is trying to kill the head renegade, Captain Chromium. So she tries to kill Captain Chromium, while Adrian has direct ties to the Renegades, but he doesn't quite understand everything that's going on. He isn't really privy to what the Renegades are up to, and at this point in the world, the Renegades have started up a hero type thing, and so they've been training prodigies to be heroes, and so Adrian is training to become a hero. Yeah, I can't really say more, but some events lead up and cause Nova and Adrian's paths to connect, and stuff happens. A lot of stuff happens. I can't really get into more explaining about this series because it's so complex, so hard to explain, and I feel like you should really just go into it knowing that it's about heroes and what's right and what's wrong in the world. That's basically what this is about. The next book I hope to reread this year is Blood Rose Rebellion by Rosalind Eves. I read this last year, I think, and I absolutely adored it. It was such a good book. I loved the main character, I loved everything about it, and then the ending was a massive cliffhanger, and I wanted to get to the next book, but I had no clear way of getting to the next book. I don't think it was out at the time that I was reading, so I was very upset, but now I think the next book is out, and I think the third book is coming out, so I've definitely put in my waiting. So let me explain what this book is about. Anna Arden is a member of High Society of London. There's a member of the High Society of London, and everyone in the High Society has magic, except she does not. But then, on occasion, if she gets too close to someone casting magic, she will break their spells, which makes the magicians or the people using magic absolutely despise her. So she's sent to go live in Hungary with her some distant family members. There she discovers that there are secrets that have yet to be told, secrets that she must understand to understand the whole picture of what's going on with her in particular and what's going on, why she doesn't have magic. The next two books that I'm planning on rereading are Carnival and Legendary by Stephanie Garber. I adore this series so much. And the characters, the magic, the wonder, I absolutely adore it, and I want to see where the author takes it in her new book coming out, Finale, which is the final book in the series. The next book that I'm planning on rereading, actually in like a week from when this video goes up, is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. I am going to be reading the Witchlands novels to celebrate Blood Witch coming out, which comes out on the 12th of February, I think. So I'm going to be rereading this book, reading the rest of the series, and reading Blood Witch just to have a big celebratory, like, woo, this book comes out kind of thing. I loved this book when I first read it. I don't quite remember much of what happens, but it was such a good book, and I really need to know that everything's okay. So I can't wait to read the next two books in the the next two books and novellas in the series, and I'm just very excited for Blood Witch to come out. Now the last book I'm hoping to reread in 2019, I'm not sure if I will, it depends on if the third book comes out in the series, but that is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I read Scythe last year, I think, because a friend recommended it to me, and I absolutely adored it, but I haven't read Thunderhead yet. I haven't been able to. And so I've been kind of putting it off, waiting to see if there's going to be any announcements for a third book coming out. So far there's been speculation that the third book is coming out this year, but we don't know for sure because there's been no announcements. So I'm just waiting until that announcement to decide whether or not I will be reading this one this year. And this was such a good story. I'm pretty sure everyone on this website has heard about it, but if you haven't, it's about these two characters, Citra and Rowan, who are chosen to be an apprentice of a scythe. These are people chosen to kill others because society as a whole has conquered death, and so they need people to deal with overpopulation, and they need to deal with overpopulation, and their solution is scythes, which are beings, humans that go out and kill at random. Whether they do a mass kill or one person here, another person over here, it's up to them at that point, and they try to do it at random, so there's no, like, I'm killing you because of this specific reason. So now Citra and Rowan are at a fight between each other because only one can be chosen to be the next scythe, and neither of them really want to be a scythe because they don't want to they don't want to kill. But these two must master the art of killing, and they might lose their own lives if they do not do so. And so this is an amazing story. So when I started this book, I recognized Neil Shusterman immediately because he wrote the Unwind series, and I've heard so many things about Unwind. I've heard don't read it if you want, or don't read it if you get sick, don't read it about if like you're terrified of certain things. And so I feel like this is a great way to get into his work, because it's not as terrifying as Unwind, and I want to get into Unwind as soon as possible, but I'm gonna read this series first. That's all the books that I really plan on rereading this year. There's other books that I do want to see if I can get to, but if I can't, I'm not really that upset about not getting to them. So are there any books that you're planning on rereading this year? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, please leave a like on this video. Please subscribe. Another thing, I wanted to bring this up because I don't know where else to bring this up. I want to do a special thing where I do subscription box reviews. Essentially, each month I subscribe to, or I get a subscription box, and then I review everything about it. I talk about the pros and cons of it, like this one's super affordable, or this one has great shipping, or like this one has a lot of items relating to popular fandoms, or this book is a pretty popular book, that kind of stuff. I want to go through that, and I want to try and create like a list of subscription boxes and their pros and their cons. Pretty much all subscription boxes are amazing, but please let me know if you'd like to see that. It will take some organization to get it done, to get it started, but I'd like to do it, and so if you guys would like to see that as well, leave comments down below. I might upload that on another day, like it won't be a Tuesday upload, which is my normal uploads. Much like I'm doing wrap-ups on the last day of the month. This will be on another day in the month, when just maybe close to the end of the month kind of thing. And let me know down below if you'd like to see that. And yeah. Another thing, I have a Twitter now. It's linked down below. It's something bookish, not something, because they wouldn't let me put that many characters. So I have a Twitter. I don't know how to use it. Please, like, if you have any tips or suggestions, comment below, because I need help. So yeah, follow the Twitter, whatever the term is. I will probably follow back everyone who follows me, because I don't know anything about Twitter. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, night, or whatever. I will see you, I'll actually see you on Thursday this week because I'm doing a wrap-up. Yeah, goodbye.